Tutankhamen's mask is an icon. And I think part of it is because it is made of solid gold, and a lot of people get wowed by that.
King Tut's golden death mask is the most famous face on Earth. For over a century, we believed it was crafted specifically for the boy king. But we were wrong. Recently, scientists used revolutionary quantum imaging technology to scan beneath its golden surface. What they discovered is sending shockwaves through Egyptology. The scan revealed hidden alterations, microscopic modifications, and a ghost-like signature erased from history. This isn't just a discovery. It's the unraveling of a 3,000-year-old cover-up. When Howard Carter discovered King Tut's tomb in 1922, he found dazzling treasures, golden chariots, precious jewels, ornate statues, and a magnificent throne. But buried within the innermost of 3 coffins lay the object that would capture the world's imagination forever, the golden death mask. This masterpiece stands about 21 inches tall and weighs over 22 pounds, essentially a bowling ball made of solid gold. It's inlaid with precious stones like lapis lazuli and turquoise. For ancient Egyptians, this wasn't merely art, it was sacred technology. They believed gold was the flesh of the gods. The mask's purpose was to protect the pharaoh's mummy and help his soul recognize its body in the afterlife. On the back, there's even a protective spell from the Book of the Dead, carved in hieroglyphs. For decades, the world viewed this mask as a perfect masterpiece. But almost immediately after discovery, experts noticed details that didn't add up. The crazy part is, all the clues were hiding in plain sight. First, there was the impossible timeline. King Tut died suddenly around age 19, likely from an infected leg fracture. According to Egyptian beliefs, a pharaoh had to be buried in exactly 70 days. Think about that. 70 days to carve a tomb, construct 3 coffins, gather thousands of artifacts, and create this solid gold mask. It seemed impossible. The tomb itself supported this rush job theory. It was tiny compared to other pharaohs' chambers. Wall paintings appeared unfinished, as if artists dropped their brushes mid-stroke. Even the massive stone sarcophagus showed corner damage, as if workers chipped away at it to squeeze it into the cramped space. This led researchers to examine the treasures more carefully. Many items didn't seem made for Tut at all. They found statues with different facial features and jewelry designed for a woman. Then they looked at the mask again. The biggest clue was the ears. The mask shows pierced ears. In ancient Egypt, only children and women wore earrings. An adult male pharaoh would never be shown with pierced ears on his sacred burial mask. This was a massive red flag. Some researchers also noted the facial features seemed oddly delicate, almost feminine. Even stranger, the gold on the face appeared slightly redder than the gold on the headdress. A shocking theory formed. What if the mask wasn't made for King Tut? What if desperate priests grabbed a mask created for someone else, hastily altered it, and placed it on Tut's mummy? This raised the crucial question. If not Tut's, whose mask was it? All suspicion turned to Queen Nefertiti, Tut's stepmother. After her husband's death, she vanished from historical records. Some historians believe she became pharaoh under a different name. What if this mask was originally hers? It would explain the pierced ears and feminine features perfectly. For decades, this remained Egyptology's biggest debate. Was the world's most famous artifact a masterpiece or a hand-me-down? It was just theory with no way to prove it without damaging the priceless mask. Then, in 2014, disaster struck. During routine cleaning at the Egyptian Museum, the mask's ceremonial beard snapped off. Panicked staff tried fixing it themselves using industrial epoxy glue, the kind for plumbing repairs. They globbed it on, stuck the beard back, and hoped nobody would notice. Everyone noticed. Egypt's greatest treasure, intact for over 3,000 years, had been damaged by hardware store adhesive. The backlash was massive. The Egyptian government launched an investigation and assembled experts led by German conservator Christian Ekman. His mission was to save the mask, but he realized this disaster presented an opportunity to finally answer the Nefertiti question. His team used high-resolution X-ray fluorescence technology. This advanced technique reveals the chemical fingerprint of gold. If Nefertiti's face had been replaced with Tut's, the scan would show it through different gold alloys, solder marks, and seams. The team spent months scanning every inch. When results came in, Egyptology sighed in relief. Ekman's findings seemed clear. The gold composition was a perfect match throughout, from the identical batch The hieroglyphs spelling Tutankhamun appeared original, with no evidence of alteration. Finally, Ekman noted the delicate blue glass stripes. If a new face had been soldered on, the intense heat would have cracked the fragile glass, but it remained perfect. The conclusion seemed unavoidable. The mask was made specifically for King Tut. The pierced ears were dismissed as a style choice. Science had solved the mystery. The Nefertiti theory was dead. Ekman's team removed the epoxy and reattached the beard using beeswax, the same adhesive ancient Egyptians used. Case closed. Everyone accepted this, until new technology changed everything. For some physicists and Egyptologists, something still felt wrong. The 70-day timeline, the cramped tomb, the recycled artifacts, and especially those pierced ears. Ekman's explanation felt weak. The problem wasn't Ekman's data, it was his technology's limitations. X-rays are remarkable, but have boundaries. What if ancient artisans used gold from the same batch to plug ear holes? What if they hammered the original name flat before recarving it? What if the face was attached so skillfully that seams were microscopically perfect? X-rays would see this as one solid object. They cannot reveal thermal history or detect whether sections were reheated and reworked. To see that detail, you'd need entirely new technology, and such technology had just been perfected. Quantum resonance imaging, or QRI. It fires quantum particles at objects, interacting with individual atoms like microscopic sonar. By analyzing atomic echoes, it maps not just material composition, but complete molecular structure and thermal history. It can distinguish between metal poured and cooled once versus metal that was cooled, reheated, hammered, and cooled again. It could detect modification seams, only atoms thick. A secret team called Project Osiris obtained permission from Egyptian authorities to perform this scan. They claimed it was simply equipment testing and weren't expecting major findings. In late 2024, after the Grand Egyptian Museum closed, they positioned their massive QRI scanner around the mask. For hours, the machine scanned the gold atom by atom. The team leader monitored data, initially confirming Ekman's findings. Then the scanner focused on the cartouche containing Tut's name. The first quantum images appeared. The team leader dropped his coffee in shock. The quantum scan revealed thermal ghosting around the mask's face, a molecular signature proving the gold had been superheated to different temperatures. Ekman was right that front soldering would destroy glass, but ancient craftsmen worked from behind using high-pressure heating that left the front flawless. X-rays missed it, but quantum imaging detected the molecular stress. The face had been replaced. The earlobe scan was more revealing. While X-rays saw solid gold, quantum imaging found two perfect cylindrical plugs. Ancient artisans filled pierced holes with matching gold alloy, then hammered and polished so skillfully the seams became invisible. But quantum technology detected differences in metal grain structure. The ears had been plugged. The most astounding discovery was the name itself. While X-rays showed only Tutankhamun's hieroglyphs, quantum scanning penetrated deeper. It revealed the gold there had been deliberately hammered, flattened, and scraped differently than the rest. The original inscription had been beaten away. Quantum technology could do something remarkable. By mapping microscopic traces of original hammering, the ghost of the first inscription, the computer reconstructed what had been carved there. The team activated the program. Slowly, original hieroglyphs appeared on screens. The name was not Tutankhamun. It read Neferuaten. This was the smoking gun. Neferuaten is the throne name Queen Nefertiti likely used as pharaoh. The Nefertiti theory wasn't just plausible, it was proven. The quantum scan revealed the complete story. When King Tut died unexpectedly, no burial mask was ready. His successor likely took Tut's intended tomb. Desperate and facing the 70-day deadline, high priests took Nefertiti's mask. Working frantically, they plugged her pierced ears with matching gold. They crafted a new face for the young king. They removed Nefertiti's face and attached Tut's from behind. Finally, they hammered her name flat and recarved it with his cartouche. The deception fooled the world for over 3,000 years. The mask still sits in its place of honor, admired by millions. But now we know the truth hidden beneath its golden surface. It makes you wonder, what other solved mysteries are waiting for the right technology to expose their real stories?